perfect target to test the 2 blood classes on. We don't have Hysterian because we're level 20. Witchblade is a level 20 Blood Mage, and the Herald of Adar is a level 20 Blood Sorcerer. Let's see how they handle this.
On my way.
Oh wow! Oh no! All right, first things first. We're gonna look at the Blood Mage class mod. It's by dufulicious. I've already done a review on this mod separately, but since we're comparing this mod to Blood Sorcery, I just wanted to just point out some quick facts. Since we're going to level 20, basically we're going to compare both the mods all the way till their fullest power. So we have this one, Blood Mage, which you get Blood Price, you get Blessings of Blood at level 13, and you get Mass Exsanguination at level 20. So we're going to be seeing all those spells today. The other mod is a little bit different. The Blood Mage is a class that's not technically from 5e D&D. So we have this one, which is a subclass of the Sorcerer job, the vanilla Sorcerer job. There are a little bit of similarities, and there's a lot of differences. But before we get into that, let me finish introducing the rest of the mods that you might need. You'll need this mod so that you can level up past level 12 and get all the way to level 20, so we can look at how powerful these both these mods are at level 20. So that's what we're gonna do. Some of these mods, you have to enable them. If you've already used them in a campaign, you have to. It says it must be enabled. So this one specifically is level up, gain a feat on every level up. So we have to enable that, right, in order to start the game. So keep that in mind. Since we're just looking at level 20, I'm going to try to not make all of the feats ASIs, so we can look at some other feats that you probably haven't even considered applying because of the ASI. This is going to be my this is my Dark Urge playthrough. This save has about 200 hours on it, so this is where I just show off everything. So we're gonna go with Sorcerer for this one, and since it's vanilla, you know all this stuff. You get concentration, or Constitution saving throw proficiency, Charisma saving throw proficiency. Spellcasting modifier for the Sorcerer is Charisma, so again, this is a good class for a Tav or a Dark Urge, or just basically the person that's going to speak the most. And then we can get a new cantrip called Green Flame Blade, which basically just coats your weapon. You attack the target, dealing some extra fire damage. All of the cantrips I have right here are the ones that I would pick. Bone Chill to get to stop people from healing. Firebolt, just because it's Firebolt and Rare Frost, so you got fire and cold damage. And then you get Green Flame Blade, which is a special cantrip that you get from unlocking Mistress spells. Now for level 1 spells, go with Shield, because that'll be really good if someone tries to hit you. And Magic Missile, because it never misses. But there's some other special ones here. We have Frost Fingers, right? 2d8 cold damage. We have Chaos Bolt, which does 2d8 thunder plus 1d6 thunder. So it'll be 2 hits, And then we have Acid Stream, Tasha's Caustic Brew. So pick whichever ones you feel like you'll need. Also, Mage Armor is pretty good, but I like Shield more. And now we're going to activate the Blood Sorcery subclass. The Blood Sorcerer draws on their blood's raw, life-giving force to fuel devastating spells. Taking the concept of bloodline magic literally, they sacrifice their vitality to amplify their power, inflicting harm upon themselves with every cast. They embrace the pain, trading their life essence for a greater magical prowess, making them formidable yet fragile spellcasters. So one of the main things you're going to have to remember is that with this class, all of your damage spells are pretty much going to hurt you too, unless you're bleeding. And there's a cantrip to where you can make yourself bleed at the same time as making an enemy bleed. Another thing with going Blood Sorcery, you're going to get Sacrificial Spell, which means the spells you cast ignore resistance and immunity to necrotic damage. And we're going to be doing a lot of necrotic damage. So we also get Grim Harvest. If you kill a creature with a spell, you regain hit points equal to twice the spell slot level used, thrice if it's a necromancy spell. Undead and constructs are unaffected. And then we have Hemomancy. Advantage on attack rolls when bleeding. So you're going to want to be bleeding. And this cantrip right here is how you bleed yourself. You bleed yourself to potentially bleed a target. So when you activate this, you activate it on an enemy, and it's going to bleed both of y'all. If the target bled, it drops a puddle of blood on the ground. And you'll see what we can do with blood on the ground with Blood Sorcery. So let's just keep continuing. Like I said, this is Dark Urge, so it's Haunted one. But pick whatever background you want for this mod. It's not going to really matter because we're going to level 20. The starting stats should look something like this. 8 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 14 Constitution, 8 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom, so we get a +2 to wisdom saving throws, and then 17 Charisma. You can bump this up to 18 if you get the Hag's Hair, but we're going to be not getting the Hag's Hair, so let's just keep continuing. You're going to want to put your +2 bonus into Charisma and your +1 into Dexterity. For skill proficiencies, you got to pick 2. I recommend going with Persuasion, so you can have Persuasion and Intimidation at +5, right? Because we're Dark Urge. And then getting Insight, because Insight can help you read people and detect lies. Like, let's say an enemy's like straight up lying through their teeth to you. Your Insight will help catch that. And like I said, this is a Dark Urge. Okay, here we are at Sorcerer Level 2. I'm going to try and go a little bit fast, but remember I said that we're going to get feats at every level. So I'm going to use the ASIs to get the main stats to 20, but once we get both of those to 20, I'll just show you other mods that could, or not other mods, but other feats that could help your sorcery playthrough. At level 2, we're also going to get our health increase. We're going to get a level 1 spell slot unlocked. We're going to get 2 sorcery points. And we're going to get the action to create sorcery points and create sorcery points by spending spell slots and create spell slots by spending sorcery points. Which is, it's the same from the vanilla. Okay, so level 2 spells here. You can pick up mage armor, like we said, but the target can't be wearing armor. I'm wearing light armor. This is the ballast outfit to go with the Dark Urge. So if you're wearing cloth or no armor, you can go ahead and pick up mage armor. But for us, we're just gonna probably pick up Frost Fingers, maybe. It's 5 meter range, or just go ahead and do Chaos Bolt. right? That's 18 meters, 3 to 22 damage. It's pretty nice. For meta magic, we're gonna want to get. Well, I usually start off with Twin spell and Careful spell. We're not gonna replace a spell, and then we're gonna do ability improvement first, so we can get our charisma all the way up. Alright, Sorcery Level 3, another feat obviously. But here's the new actions we're gonna get. Blood Ray, shoot 3 rays of blood. Each ray deals 2 to 16 necrotic damage, and it damages the caster 1 to 4 necrotic damage. There is no damage if the caster is bleeding. So this is what I was talking about. Make sure when you play these that you're bleeding, and you can get Blood Spike. This transforms the blood beneath a target into spikes that impale it, dealing 4 to 40 necrotic damage. And it can only be used if the target's obviously standing on blood-covered surfaces. We're going to get a whole bunch of spells. We're going to get a spell where you could just create like a rainstorm of blood. So the blood is nothing to really worry about. And then the blood ray is kind of like the scorching ray, right? So at this level, we don't really need to get scorching ray. Instead, we can get Misty Step. Even though this is a Githyanki, since it's sorcery, it's still good to have Misty Step so you can get out of real tough problems. Now for the next meta magic, we like to Quickened is nice, so you can use a spell on a bonus action. But I like to pick Subtle spell over Quicken spell. We're eventually gonna get Quicken spell too, because we're going up to level 20. But I like picking Subtle spell first, because sometimes these characters will just shoot silence at you, and then you have to like move out of the silence to cast. And since we are a sorcerer, you know, we're gonna be using dual daggers, but most of our spells are gonna be most of the spells we're gonna want to cast even if we're silenced, right? So now we're gonna get some more stuff. Let's make dexterity go up this time. Alright, now sorcery level 4. This is where you would get your first feat. Alright, and your first feat is most likely going to be the ASI that I already grabbed. We're going to choose another cantrip, which Shocking Grasp is really good. It has advantage if they have metal armor, so that's good when you're fighting the Githyanki. Frostbite, 1 to 6 damage, inflicts numbing frost that causes disadvantage on attack rolls. And then we have this one, Larlock's Minor Drain, which might as well go ahead and grab this one. Extract the target's life points and regain half as many hit points. So it only does 1 to 6. But it's nice to get a little bit of health back if you need it. Now for spells, you can go for something really offensive, like Scorching Ray, Burning Hands, or this one, Agonizer's Scorcher. Or you can get a defensive spell like Mirror Image if you don't want to be getting hit, if you want invisibility. So yeah, just choose which spell makes the most sense for you, because you're only going to get one spell, and sorcerers they can't change their spells out of combat like a wizard can. So you're gonna have to pick what you actually want to use. I am gonna save. Should I say level 2? I like to get this one because it's a little bit stronger than Burning Hands. 5 meters versus 9 meters. So yeah, let's just get the Scorching Hands. This is new. You can replace the spell if you need to. Oh, and since our charisma's 19, that's where we would normally get the Hag's Hair to go to 20. So I'm just going to use a mod that increases charisma by 1. You can either do Actor, which will give you proficiency doubled for deception and performance checks, or you get Performer. You gain musical instrument proficiency, and your charisma increases by 1. I like doing that since we're not a bard. It'll give you, you'll be able to play an instrument. You can just sit there and perform. That could also help if you're level 4, doing the part with Alfira in the Emerald Grove. Now we're at Sorcery Level 5. We're going to get another feat, but normally you wouldn't get a feat here. And we're going to get 2 new blood actions. Sanguine Feast, which drains the vitality of all nearby creatures. The caster heals for half of the damage. Alright, sorry about that. So we're going to have 2 new actions at Sorcery Level 5. You're going to get Sanguine Feast, which drains the vitality of all nearby creatures. The caster heals for half of the total damage dealt, drawing vitality from their foes to restore their own health. So Sanguine Feast is really good. It's only a 3-meter spell, and it's a con save, like it says right there. And when they save, targets will still take half the damage. We also get Crimson Blast, which is like the blood version of Fireball. You shoot a ball of your own blood from your fingers that explodes upon contact, rotting the flesh of everything in the vicinity and causing the caster to take 1 to 8 necrotic damage for each target hit, or half if the caster is bleeding. So this one's a really powerful one. It does 10d6, so 10 damage minimum. That's just crazy. Oh, and then right here, if you want, you can get Fireball, but since we're a sorcerer and we can twin spell, I like to pick up Haste, because you can't twin Fireball, but you can twin Haste. And then we're going to get our Racial Misty Step. If you want to replace a spell, at this point we have 5. So this is level 2, level 1, level 1, level 2, level 1, right? But just keep them for now, and we're going to get Dexterity to 20. Now we get another sorcery point at level 6. We're going to get Blood Magic. When you cast a spell that deals necrotic damage, you add your charisma modifier to the damage. So level 6 with your charisma as high as it can be. At this point, it could be at 20, because this is past the Hag's Hair, right? So you're going to be adding a +5 to your necrotic damage. And then you get Blood Vitality in combat. If the wearer is standing in blood at the start of their turn, you automatically heal 2d4. So with this build, you're going to want to put as much blood down as you want. The only thing is, if you use the blood spikes or anything that uses blood at the feet, it takes away that blood from the ground. So keep that in mind if you're trying to recover health via blood vitality. Alright, level 6 spells. Pick whichever you really want. I like getting Fireball, even though we have the Sanguine one. I like being able to cast some fire damage, because the fire damage you can use to ignite other explosives that might be on the battlefield already. So now we're gonna get dual wielding, dual wielder, so we can get a +1 bonus to armor class while wielding a melee weapon in both hands. The only thing is I'm using 2 light weapons because I'm using 2 daggers. I'll show you guys them after we get to 20. Let's try and go a little faster. We get Bloodstorm, which is 3d8 slashing plus 5d6 necrotic, total 8 to 54 damage. This is going to create a storm of blood and flesh. So this will put blood on the ground if you need it. and then enemies have to make a dex save in order to, like, I guess, dodge the Bloodstorm. Spell-wise, we can get Wall of Fire or Lightning Bolt for some damage. If you need concentration, you got Fear over here, and you got Hold Person. I like to get Counterspell, because a sorcerer with Counterspell, especially at level 20, you'll see how many spell slots we get. Now, another feat that's not ASI that you might want to grab is Alert. Alert will give you a +5 bonus to initiative, and you can't be surprised. It's a really good spell. It is kind of OP getting feats at every level, but we're trying to show the full potential of both mods, right? Come down here and grab, like, an older spell that you might want. You know, Flame Blade. We don't need to do Flame Blade because we have the green one, right? And we have level 4 spells: Banishment, Blight, Confusion, Dimension Door, Dominate Beast, Greater Invisibility, and then Ice Storm, and then Polymorph, which is level 4, and Stone Skin's level 4. Wall of Fire is level 4. So these are level 4 spells. Out of all of these, I think I like Ice Storm better than Wall of Fire. They do around the same damage, but Wall of Fire is nice because you can completely block off an area that you need. Okay, now here, at this point I like to get rid of Chaos Bolt because we're probably not using it that much anymore, and we can get a higher level spell, like Lightning Bolt or something. Switch Chaos Bolt for Lightning Bolt. Sounds good. Another spell you might want for a sorcerer is this one, Spell Sniper. You learn a cantrip, and the number you need to roll a critical hit with spells is reduced by 1, and this can stack. But I like picking this one to get Eldritch Blast, which is a Warlock spell slot. It'll actually scale it as well with your level. Level 9, we get Grasp of the Dead. Blood tentacles rise from the blood on the ground, attacking and restraining characters that stand in blood surfaces. Blood surfaces affected by the spell will disappear on cast. So that's what I was talking about earlier. This will be nice. You can restrain people with blood. So, like, a lot of these spells you don't even really need because you'll have all the blood spells. So make sure you keep that in mind. You can go for more like utility-based spells instead of power-based spells. Flame arrows, Macabre, Explosion. Well, you can't use this. You have to use this on a corpse. Oh wait, I think you can use this on Cazador. I should have tried that, but I didn't. And you can summon a Draconic Spirit. Most of these are because of the Mistress spells, so if you don't have those, that's fine. You can still pick a vanilla spell like Cloud Kill. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Macabre. Remember, you can, if you get yourself to level 20 and you're like, I need to repick my spells, just respec. It only costs 100 gold with Withers, and you can Savage Attacker is decent feat. Normally you wouldn't get it with the sorcerer, but just in case we need to use our melee weapons, Savage Attacker helps. Normally you wouldn't pick that at all though, so don't pick that one. Don't pick that feat, because I think level 20, it's going to go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So you'll get 5 feats, right? So out of all the feats that I pick, make sure that, you know, you're like picking one that actually helps you. For meta magic, now we can go for quicken spell. These other ones are okay. This one, heightened spell, I usually never pick. Extended spell, I usually never pick. And then eventually I'm going to come back around and try to pick up distance spell. Like I said, most of my feats could just be ability improvement. Just because I get a feat on every level. Oh, here is a feat that might actually come in handy with this kind of playstyle. This is going to increase our constitution by 1, and you regain full HP each time you take a short rest. So that's just good to get your HP back, and our constitution is going to go to 15. Now, doesn't feel like there's that many more spells that we can get, especially at level 11. I like to get Disintegrate, because it's just, like, it's just an amazing spell, Disintegrate. The only thing is, if you're trying to loot the enemy that you disintegrate, you might disintegrate the loot that they're holding too. We can get Warcaster, which is a good spell for if you're concentrating. You get advantage to keep concentration, like for haste or something like that. And you get Warcaster opportunity spell, where you can use a reaction to cast Shocking Grasp if someone's trying to move out of melee range from you. Alright, level 12. You might want to consider picking up Globe of Invulnerability, because you can do some pretty nice stuff with that. I'm going to replace Macabre, because let's say there's no more undeads, but we can throw down Chain Lightning. Does 10d8 damage. Or Cone of Cold. Eye Bite is a good level 6, and so is Circle of Death. The only thing with Circle of Death is that the range is like really big, and you can actually hurt people. But yeah, let's go with that one. Yeah, you wouldn't be good grabbing. Look how many feats I got. I got Alert, Dual Wielder, Durable, +2, 3 ASIs or something like that. So, with this many feats, it can make your character pretty broken. I like to get Dungeon Delver, because that you'll have advantage on perception checks made to detect hidden objects, and you have advantage on saving throws made to avoid traps and resistance to any trap damage. So let's say you accidentally walk into it and it explodes. Another spell we can get here. Probably, well, we don't want to get too many level 6 spells, because you can only cast them at level 6 and above. So, actually, let's get Hold Person, because that's a really good level 2 spell that we passed up earlier. At this point, you're most likely going to be in Act 3, unless you did double XP. But you'll see these next levels, we're not going to really get much, right? We're going to get more sorcery points and level 8 spell unlocked, which would be nice if they actually had level 8 spells. The only thing is, you can activate these level 6 spells at level 8 spell slot, so it increases the damage of them. I'm just gonna go Cloud Kill. You can replace the spell here, but all the spells we have are pretty useful. Shield, you know, Hold Person is concentration, and this is concentration, Global Invulnerability, and same with Wall of Fire. So you got 3 concentration spells that you can try to figure out which ones you need. You want to use it on holding someone still. You want to use it on creating a barrier that makes you immune to all damage, or do you want to make a wall of fire that you want to try to kite the enemies into? Level 16, we're going to get another spell slot and another feat. So what other feats are there that we could use? I don't know. Ritual Caster. Because I don't want to just be getting ASIs. But Ritual Caster is cool if you need an extra feat, or if you have feat on every level like this one, and you're about to get 20 feats. You get Ritual Caster so you can get Long Strider and like speak with animals if you want, or Enhanced Leap. Just anything that you think would be a good ritual spell to have. Oh, Gift of Alacrity kind of has a downside because it'll prevent the target from taking actions. And Speak with the Dead, you don't really need because there's a what's called to do that. So, Speak with Animals is good for RP. Enhanced Leap is good for if you're just trying to explore the maps. And now at Sorcerer Level 17, we're going to get another sorcery point, but then we're unlocking level 9 spell slots. And with that mod, it doesn't, even with the Mistress spell, it doesn't add any level 9 spells to the game. Right? All these are like level 3, level 5. What's this? Immolation? Ooh, I like that. I'm probably actually going to pick this one. I've never seen this. There's some really good spells with the Mistress thing. Like this one, Far Step. Teleport to an unoccupied space you can see. So, what? Misty Step, right? But if you see the graphic, it's 3 Misty Steps. For 10 turns, you can use Far Step again without using a spell slot. So that's really cool. But I'm going to go Immolation because I like damage. And here, you're probably just going to want to get Distance Spell because Extended and Heighten, I've never used, not even in the tabletop version of the game. Now we're at Sorcerer 18. We get an extra level 5 spell slot unlocked and more sorcery points. If like I said, you're just going to be replacing stuff at this part, and then picking feats. I try to get like the most useful spells because this is a sorcerer, so you're going to be meta magicking. You could probably get rid of Cloud Kill maybe, and then what's this? Cone of Cold. Or Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is probably better. Do Chain Lightning, get them a little wet. I don't know if if blood makes the enemies wet, that would be interesting, but you can replace the spell here. We're not going to do that no more. And then we're going to pick a feat. But all these feats, I mean, all these feats you can grab. Let's just do an ability improvement and then just make Constitution go up. Alright, and now at the final level, Sorcerer Level 20, we're going to get another level 7 spell slot. Our health is at 142 now. And this is Tactician. So we're going to get Sorceress Restoration. You regain 4 expended sorcery points whenever you finish a short rest. So that's going to help get your sorcery points back. Replace the spell here if you want. I like what I got. Oh wait, I don't have a level 5 spell. Hold on. Yep, I have Immolations level 5, so that's good. Alright, and then let's level up. Now that's level 20. Let's look at the gear I have on them. I went dual wield because I have 2 murderous cuts. I just feel like if you're going to be Dark Urge, having the murderous cuts, because they do piercing damage, on top of the ballast armor, which is the special Dark Urge chest piece. It's light armor, so a sorcerer can wear it, and but you can't use mage armor with it. It's going to make enemies vulnerable to piercing damage, though. So you can get some nice damage with that. You get the ballast gloves, which will allow you to use the class action Garrote, and then the Amulet of Ball. Oh yeah, as well as the Deathstalker Mantle. You grab that early in Act 1, so that's it for the gear. Let's move on to Blood Mage. Alright, now we're going to be looking at Blood Mage, which is a class, like I said, it's not technically part of 5e. Unless it's like homebrewed, but let's read the description. Harness the power of your own vitality and make others suffer. Learn spells that utilize and manipulate the very life essence that flows within the veins of yourself and your enemies. So it's kind of similar to Blood Sorcerer. The major difference is the spellcasting modifier for Blood Mage is Constitution, whereas for Sorcerer it's Charisma. But some of these spells are going to look kind of similar, right? You have Blood Siphon, Blood Bolt, which does acid damage. You can blanket an area in blood, so the Blood Mage and the Blood Sorcerer can actually work really well together, and I'll show that a little bit later. For spells, don't worry too much about these vanilla ones, because you're just going to want the blood ones as much as possible. And this is how I usually do the stats for it. Constitution +2 and Dexterity +1. Depending on the weapons you're going to use, if you're going to need it, your Dexterity high or your Strength high. I like Dexterity higher than Strength, because you can use finesse weapons. So let's move on. Skill proficiencies doesn't really matter. Just try to get insight, and then you can dump the rest into like history, religion, or medicine. Blood Mage doesn't have the best skill proficiencies. Alright, now let's level it up. Level 2 Blood Mage. We unlock Sated by Blood. Up to once per turn, when you defeat a creature, you gain HP equal to your proficiency bonus, which is our Constitution. So that's going to be the one we're going to want to make max first. Get Rend. Just do some 2d12 necrotic damage. Really nice. Blood Mage level 3 is where we're going to pick our subclass. Now that's the major difference between Blood Sorcery, which is a subclass, to Blood Mage, which is a full class. So we're the 3 subclasses for Blood Mage. You got Blood Knight, which you get heavy armor proficiency. You're basically like, you can make this like a tank Blood Mage, like you want to do melee damage more. And then you have Reaver, which is kind of like Berserker, because you get unarmored defense, you get unbridled bloodlust. When you defeat a creature, you regain more HP, so you're getting even more HP with this and Sated by Blood. But then you also get Boiling Blood, which is an action that basically just it enhances your combat abilities. You lose 1 HP at the beginning of each of your turns, but you gain advantage to all melee attack rolls. But since we're trying to compare spellcasters, I'm gonna go with Blood Magus for the Blood Mage. Compare that to the Blood Sorcery. You're gonna get Blood into Magic, where you hurt yourself in order to get a spell slot. So that's really cool. Good. We can get the last 2 blood spells right here. And now we're moving on to level 4, which is when you would get your first feat. Notice how this class you only get, like I haven't been able to pick up a whole bunch of feats. But right here at level 4, you can get Hold Person, which will help out a lot. Or you can get Hellish Rebuke if you need a reaction. I'm gonna go with Hold Person. And the first feat we want to go is Ability Improvement, because we're gonna want to get our Constitution to 20 ASAP. Now we got it to level 9. We're going to Blood Mage level 5. We're getting 2 new spells, and now we're just picking vanilla spells. One of the spells you might want to consider is Healing Word or Cure Wounds. I like Healing Word because it's a ranged heal. You're going to need that because you're going to be losing a lot of health. And then we can pick up the reaction. Hellish Rebuke. Do some fire damage if somebody attacks us. Alright. Level 6, we get Blood and Magic 2, so we can deal damage to get a level 2 spell slot. And you get Profane Empowerment bonus action. You suffer 7 necrotic damage to increase your next single target Blood Mage spell's damage by 2d6 plus proficiency bonus in necrotic damage. And it only works with Blood Siphon, Blood Bolt, and Rend. So that's why I was saying get all the blood spells first. At this point, since there's no more blood spells and you don't really have the biggest list to choose from, here we can get another healing spell. Blood Mage level 7. Our HP is going up, we get another spell. And yeah, we still have these spells that aren't the best, but we can get Vampiric Touch, which kind of goes with like all the blood Mage lore or whatever. Level 8, we're gonna get more health and a new spell. You can get Aid here. I just like getting all the healing spells just because they're selectable. So you can run this on Shadowheart instead of having a cleric if you want, but I mean you should probably still have a cleric. Now we got to make our Constitution go up to 20. So to do that, we're gonna do durable, so we can get our full HP after each short rest again. And now our Constitution is 20, which is max, and we're only at level 9. So at level 9, you have more hold spells and you have dominate spells. So I'm going to go hold monster, right? Because we're going all the way to level 20. So we're going to be able to get dominate person, dominate monster. Blood Mage level 10, Blood and Magic 3. Hurt yourself, get a level 3 spell slot. And you get Blood Puppet. Use your magic to control the flesh of a victim and make them fight for you. So pretty much like dominate person, right? And then here, we can get Tasha's maybe, or Command. I like Command because you can just make them drop their weapon real quick. And it doesn't use concentration like Tasha's Hideous Laughter does. Now our HP's gone up to 120. We're getting a new spell. And like eventually you're going to get all these spells. Maybe False Life. That seems kind of like a Blood Magus type move. All it does is give you some temporary HP, which can act as like a quick little shield if you know you're about to get hit with a lot of damage. Now we have Eye Bite, and we can choose Dominate Person or Dominate Beast. I like going Dominate Person first, and then ability improvement to make dexterity go to 18. Now we're at Blood Mage level 13. We get a new spell. And now we can get Dominate Beast if you want. So we have Dominate Person and Dominate Beast. Which is, I mean, we got Hold Person too. And we have Blood Puppet. So we're going to be trying to mainly focus on just affecting the enemy really, really bad. We're going to do Harm, which is going to reduce the target's maximum HP. So if you keep doing Harm, well, Harm is level 6 spell, but it makes the HP go down. So if you're fighting somebody with like a huge HP pool, you're going to lower their HP, right? So they can't go back to full health. Blood Mage level 15, we're just going to get some health. Don't even get to pick nothing there. Blood Mage level 16, we're going to get another ability improvement. We're going to make our dexterity go to 20. So we got 20 constitution, 20 dexterity. Level 17, aren't really getting anything again, just increased health. Blood Mage 18, not really getting anything besides some increased health. Blood Mage 19, you aren't getting anything besides some increased health. And then Blood Mage 20, where you're going to get the last feat, and you're going to get this action called Mass Exsanguination. Erupt with necrotic energy, inflicting 8d6 necrotic damage to all enemies within a wide radius, inflicting them with weaken until the end of their next turn, and healing for half the total damage dealt. So this is good if you're like surrounded. Excuse me. And then for feats, we didn't, for some reason that feat on every level isn't compatible with this one, so we didn't get full feats. Instead of getting ability improvement, probably get alert here, since we don't really need to raise anything else up. And voila, that's the Blood Mage and the Blood Sorcerer. Now let's test them out. I wanted to show this real quick before we do the demonstration. This is the Blood Mage, right? So you get Boilhide, Rebellious Flesh, Rend, Blood Bolt, Blood Siphon. I mean, you get all of these blood spells, but you don't have blood spells like the Blood Sorcerer. The Blood Sorcerer, like this blood pool on the ground, I am going to use Grasp of the Undead, right? Level 5. But I mean, there's no one here. But it cleans the blood. The blood goes away. That's what's going to happen. So if there was an enemy there, they would now be grabbed or restrained, but the blood will be gone. And if we stand in blood, then, yeah, it's not blood sorcery that can do it. It's Blood Mage, I believe, that can do it. Rain of Hissing Blood. It did damage, but it put all this blood back on the ground. So you can, if you have both of these, you can work together by putting blood on the map and, you know, restraining enemies because of the blood on the map. So let's go fight the guy that I was going to fight in the beginning of this video. Alright, I had to speed this up to make it fit within an hour or so. I'm going to use Bone Chill on Cazador. He turned into smoke. Quicken spell. Oh yeah, I try to use Disintegrate. But yeah, If I had to say which one's my favorite between the two, I'd probably go with Sorcerer. I was trying to use as much blood magic as I could during this fight. This fight was difficult. This is like the 10th time, because I'm just using the two classes, just so you can see how they fight together. Because they have similar, they kind of have similar play styles, but they have completely different spellcasting modifiers. One's Constitution, the other one's Charisma. One has like a whole huge health pool. So yeah, I could be using the dual blades, but on Cazador, when he's in that smoky form, he's kind of resistant to physical attacks. Yeah, they just put all this nauseous on us. Well, I'm sorry, this is a spoiler, but I mean the game's been out for a while. I'm sitting over here trying to knock people off. Cazador is being annoying. See how much times I use Hellish Rebuke? Oh, and the Sorcerer went down, but I picked him back up. This has got a little difficult because I was trying not to use arrows or anything like that in my inventory. I was trying to just use the spells that came with the two classes, since I'm level 20 and these guys are level like 12. But we are outnumbered like by a lot, and there's way better strategies to take out Cazador than to do this. There's the daylight exploit, where you just get close to him and use daylight. So yeah, I'm panicking up here because I'm like, Cazador could just probably push me off. To be honest, I don't know why he didn't, because I know he probably would have succeeded that strength check. But I go up here to pick up the Sorcerer. So I'm having to pick up the Sorcerer a lot because what I'm forgetting is you're supposed to bleed yourself before you use your spells. And you have to actually, it's like a status effect. So you got to make sure that it's on. Bleeding is on. So when you use your spells as a sorcerer, it doesn't hurt you that bad. But that's why I kept getting like really low health, because I was misunderstanding that it's not if you've been damaged, you have to actually be bleeding. When I put Boil Hide on the Mage, Boil Hide increases the armor class, and I think the Mage has a lower armor class than the Sorcerer. So Boil Hide kind of helps out, especially because the Blood Mage, even though I went Magus, the Blood Mage doesn't have as many spells as Sorcerer. This guy's so hard. If you fought him, you know how difficult he kind of is, unless you do the daylight, because he recovers health. Since he's a vampire, he recovers health every turn. So I'm trying to do as much damage. If you notice, his max HP is going down because I'm using harm. Using harm and healing word to keep us up. Now we got him under 200. Probably could have done something with global invulnerability somewhere, but I hit him with a disintegrate there, so it does a chunk. And then he's trying to flee. In the gas form, like I said, he's resistant to physical damage. Lightning bolt him, but it does like no damage. Oh yeah, I used one scroll of dethrone. That was scroll of dethrone. Yeah, I was just panicking at this point because everybody was low health. Cazador is low health, my characters are low health, and like I said, this was the 10th time I really did this. So over there I do blood ray, put all the rays on them, and it takes them out. So yeah, my thoughts, basically, I would say the sorcerer is better than the mage, especially if you want to be the party face. But if you want to try the mage out, because it has 3 subclasses, so you can kind of fine tune it the way you want. Go for that, because sorcerer, I mean, besides multi-classing with paladin, doesn't really, use 2-hand, but a blood mage knight can. So that's my thoughts on the blood mage against the vampire lord Cazador. Hope this helped, and I hope it wasn't too long. If you watched this far, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And have a happy Halloween.
Nothing remains now. Cazador and his machinations are naught but dust.